by Honda. We've been fans since day one. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and proud fan since 1977.
Welcome to Rogers Center and happy Easter, everybody. The Blue Jays are set to take the field. Marcus Stroman will go to the mound to make his first start of the season. And Stroman has pitched very well against the Yankees in this ballpark. He's 4-0 for his career in 6 career starts against the Yankees. A win today. And the Blue Jays could split the 4-game series against Aaron Boone's New York Yankees. Blue Jays won yesterday 5-3. Take a look at the Yankees lineup. They had just 4 hits yesterday, 2 doubles and 2 home runs. Brett Gardner back on the top of the order in the leadoff spot. Erin Judge has good numbers against the Blue Jays starter Marcus Stroman, 6 for 12 with 3 career home runs. And then right behind him, Giancarlo Stanton. His career numbers against the Blue Jays are impressive, including 10 extra base hits and 9 RBIs.
A couple of new faces in that lineup this afternoon for Marcus Stroman as he gets ready for his first start of the season. 13-9 last year. That's a career high in wins. He also made a career high in starts with those 33 starts last season. You mentioned that he is 6-0 against, or excuse me, 6 career wins against the Yankees, or the most by any opponent. 4-0 lifetime here at Rogers Center. He pitched 5 times against the Yankees last season. Last year, 11 starts of at least 7 innings. That led the team. You could really count on Marcus getting deep into the ball game for the Blue Jays, and they're hoping he does that again this afternoon.
Marcus Stroman is terrific at getting the ground balls. Defense in the outfield, not really that important, but boy, on the infield, it's a different story.
Yeah, and let's laser in on gift and go pay. The highest ground ball percentage in Major League Baseball from Marcus Stroman, so your shortstop better be able to catch the ball. They have put go pay in there at shortstop. He's an outstanding defender. Really, the whole left side of the infield with all these right-handed hitters of the Yankees better be on their toes with Marcus Stroman on the mound this afternoon.
And Gope can really pick it. He played second base in yesterday's game. He's at shortstop for the first time as a Blue Jay here today at Rogers Center. So Stroman, trying to split the 4-game series, will face Brett Gardner, who did not start yesterday, but he got in the game very early. He was a defensive replacement for Billy McKinney in the first inning. Gardner is 2 for 12 in the series, a couple of walks and a strikeout. Stroman is set. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. In there for a strike, and we are underway. Blue Jays have drawn very well in this season opening series. Opening day, 48,000 and crowds of 33,037 yesterday. 1-1.
Well, what we saw from Stroman in Montreal, if he's half as good as what we saw in Montreal, he's going to have a good afternoon. His fastball was electric. It was diving all over the strike zone. He threw a pretty good breaking ball that day also.
Ground ball. No problem at all for Devin Travis. Travis did not start yesterday, and that was by design. They want to keep him as fresh as possible. He only played 50 games last year.
Yeah, 2 on and 1 off, and they're going to stick to that just to protect those legs from Devin. Did not play in yesterday's game. Back out there today. Been battling those leg problems now for a couple of years, so they really want to protect him, especially early on the season.
Here is Erin Judge. We mentioned his numbers against Stroman. 6 for 12 with 3 career home runs. Fastball off the plate outside. Judge in the series just 2 for 12. He has a double. Hasn't driven in a run. Good breaking ball.
If he gets that call this afternoon, he's going to have a good day. Ball looked like it might have been off the plate, but the expanded strike zone gets him the strike.
That's a good pitch. Stroman's got to have that pitch, and that's his sinking fastball. And Russell Martin's politicking right now with David Rackley trying to get that call.
Quick pitch right there from Stroman. He does an outstanding job of upsetting the timing of the hitters by quick pitching, hesitating. And what hitters try to do, they try to step out on him just to slow him down just a little bit.
Slider bounced into dirt. So Russell Martin set up well off the plate, and that's something that Stroman requested last year from Martin. He was having a tough time getting that breaking ball off the plate outside to the right-handers, and he asked Martin to move off the plate. Breaking ball, ball 4 to Judge as he draws the 1-out walk. That's the second walk Judge has taken in this series. And here is Giancarlo Stanton, a 3-hitter in this lineup. Stanton facing Stroman for the first time.
Well, what he will get will be a lot of sinkers. And that's the thing about Marcus. Even if he gives up his share of base hits or he gives up a walk, he can always get out of it with that ground ball double play.
Inside.
Be interesting to watch some of these veteran Yankee hitters if they adjust a little bit to try and get the ball in the air against Stroman. Maybe move up in the batter's box to try and catch that sinker before it breaks.
Good fastball there. Stanton is 4 for 12 in this series, a pair of doubles and 2 home runs. His home runs came on opening day. 1-1. Judge takes his lead at first. He straightens him up with a fastball. Marcus Stroman had 2 abbreviated starts against the Yankees last season in New York on the 3rd of May. He was taken out of the game with shoulder tightness after just 3 innings. Stanton went after it.
You know, I think, Buck, that's why that fastball inside to these righties are going to be very important this afternoon for Marcus. Show the fastball inside because he can sweep that breaking ball off the plate away from him.
2-2. Again, not getting the call. That looked like a pretty good pitch. The slider to the outside corner. Full count, 1 out. Judge at first base, not running. Back-to-back walks to Judge and Stanton. They mentioned Marcus for his career. This is his 7th career start here at Rogers Center.
And he's undefeated. 4-0 here. Opponents hitting just 157. Look at the whip and, of course, the double plays. What he does here is he attacks. You have to attack that strike zone with his good stuff, the sinker and the slider, and he has had success here against the Yankees.
D.D. Gregorius batting in the cleanup spot, the lefty hitter. Double play in order. Judge is at second, Stanton's at first.
Marcus had one of those seasons last year where it was bend but don't break type of seasons. He gave up 27 hits to the Yankees last season, more than any other team.
A lot of the hits that Stroman surrenders are weak contact because of the movement. In fact, he's throwing more changeups, and a lot of those hits that he gave up a year ago, a lot of ground ball hits. He gave up 201 hits in 201 innings.
A lot, and I can recall a lot of balls, just seeing eye hits that found their way into the outfield, or little chinkers that found their way into the outfield. But he was always able to find his way out of that because he's got that great ground ball percentage.
Oh, 2. Got it. Another good breaking ball from Stroman. Strikes out Gregorius, second out of the inning, first strikeout of the afternoon.
Tough guy to strike out too, and Gregorius, especially with runners on base. It looks like a fastball as you start to swing, and look at that break. Gets right underneath the bat for his first strikeout. Perfect time to throw that pitch. And no chance for Gregorius, who has started 2018 very hot.
Neil Walker, the first baseman. That got Martin right on the top of the right foot. So David Rackley extending professional courtesy to the catcher. Walks the ball out halfway to the mound.
Here it is, fastball right off. It looked like his shin guard on top of his shoe. Right off the toe.
0-1 to Walker. Good sinking action on that fastball. It's now 0-2.
That's the kind of fastball he had in his last start. That's the one we were talking about in Montreal. That first game, the exhibition game, where Marcus pitched 4 2/3 innings, had 6 strikeouts against the Cardinals. This ball was moving all over the place.
Stroman comes back and strikes out Gregorius and Walker. He walked Judge, he walked Stanton. They're both stranded. Five runs on 9 hits and won their first game of the season, trying to even the series at 2 games apiece here this afternoon. Let's take a look at the lineup for John Gibbons' Blue Jays. Devin Travis back in the leadoff spot, and Josh Donaldson. Career against Sonny Gray, 4 for 12 with a couple of RBIs, but he's gotten 7 walks against Sonny Gray. And you can see Yervis Solarte, a former Yankee, has hit well against New York, 8 for 18, 3 doubles, 2 home runs, and 3 RBIs. And his homer in the 8th sparked the Blue Jays' comeback win.
Gave him a lot of energy to finish off that game. Blue Jays will face 28-year-old Sonny Gray this afternoon. He's coming off a great spring. 4 official starts. He was 2-0 with an ERA under 3. I think he's really found a home in New York. He was acquired from Oakland right at the trade deadline last year for 4 really good players. Originally selected by the A's in the first round, 18th overall.
Devin Travis takes the first pitch outside. Devin is 0 for 8 in the early going this season. He has struck out 4 times in his first 2 games. Ray pulls that one off the plate. It's 2-0.
Not happy with the baseball as he asked to change it. This is game 4 of the season, so you have your number 4 starters going. It's a pretty good matchup for a number 4. Marcus Stroman and Sonny Gray. Pretty impressive. It tells you how deep these pitching staffs are.
3-0. Gray having trouble finding the strike zone to the first batter. Josh Donaldson will be next. 4 straight balls. So Gray walks Travis to start the game, and let's take a look at the defense for Aaron Boone's Yankees. Giancarlo Stanton makes his first career start ever in left field. Gardner and Judge round out the outfield, and the youngster at third base has been impressive.
Yeah, Brandon Drury over there. Most starts last year, second base when he was with Arizona. They picked him up in the spring, and he has looked good over at third base. John Gibbons was talking about him today, that he looks pretty good over there at third.
Josh Donaldson. Josh just 1 for 10 in the early going. Breaking ball for a strike.
Not a bad idea after he missed all of those pitches up in the strike zone. to come back with that curveball to make him get on top of it.
Off the glove of Gregorius. Devin Travis is going to go to third. He'll get there easily. Gardner tried to pick up the ball, dropped it, but Donaldson stays at first. First and third. Blue Jays threatening early.
Sonny Gray walks that leadoff batter on 4 pitches. Blue Jays are going to try and capitalize. Gregorius normally sure-handed, but it looked like this ball might have been knuckling out to him, really dancing and moving, and he just can't come up with it. He does the Blue Jays a favor by knocking it down and knocking it into no man's land. As Travis goes to third base, Blue Jays in business in the first inning.
Gregorius committed just 9 errors a year ago. That was a clean base hit, no question about it. Justin Smoak. Big day yesterday on Justin Smoak bobblehead day. Had an RBI single in the first, an RBI double in the third, and his third hit in the fifth. He finished up 3 for 4. Yankees stranded a pair in the top of the first. Blue Jays trying to break through first.
He was talking yesterday, Smoak, about, I was asking him why he hit so many home runs. What was the secret? What did you do to unlock that power? He said, in the past, I used to try and hit home runs, and I get a little bit too long. Now I'm just trying to hit the ball hard. He had a great day yesterday, like you mentioned. Basically taking what they were giving him. There were a lot of pitches away from him that he just kind of hit the other way or pulled. Didn't try and do too much.
Smoak had 39 multi-hit games last year to lead the Blue Jays. He picked up his first yesterday. Good breaking ball from Gray. That's one thing the Yankees have encouraged Sonny Gray to do more frequently. Use that good breaking ball. When we saw him as a rookie with Oakland, that was a terrific pitch.
He's always had a very good breaking ball. It looked like he got away from that for a little bit. There was a start here last year that he was throwing a lot of changeups. They were like changeup cut fastballs. Josh Donaldson asking for a little help from his first base coach, Tim Leeper, on the signs.
2-2 pitch. Another breaking ball, and Smokes strikes out. 1 away.
Just trying to lift the ball in the air, and he comes up empty. That's another good curveball from Sonny Gray. The Super Slow-Mo is brought to you by the Samsung S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now. You can see he has the head down. He just swings over the top of it.
1 out for Yanniver Solarte. Solarte hit the home run in the 8th inning yesterday to give the Blue Jays the lead. Ball short hop caught by Austin Romine. Romine catching for the first time this year. Gary Sanchez got the first 3 games of this series. Solarte, we mentioned his career numbers against his former team, the Yankees. 8 for 18 with 3 doubles and 2 home runs.
None bigger than the one yesterday off of Betances. And I asked him about it today, and he says, I have to stay in the middle of the field. That keeps my front shoulder in. And he knew that Betances was going to supply the power. Just try and hit it out in front.
Another breaking ball. Ball on a strike to Solarte. Playing at third base with Donaldson DHing. Pretty good numbers in these situations for Solarte a year ago with San Diego. Pulled foul. The Blue Jays saw Gray twice after the trade last year. He made 2 starts against the Blue Jays after coming to New York, and he was a different pitcher than we've seen, at least early in this ballgame.
More curveballs, pretty decent fastball. Yankees encourage more curveballs. They've got the big arms, especially in the bullpen, but they throw a lot of off-speed pitches.
Man on the right is Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, and he's tried to convince the pitchers to use the fastball a little bit more. The Yankees analytically think the breaking balls are good pitches, and Larry Rothschild, with his pitching background, loves locating that fastball.
Well, especially when you throw it like the guy we just saw. Severino was touching 98. Sonny Gray's got a pretty decent fastball.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Another breaking ball. Back-to-back strikeouts. Last year, came over mid-season to join the Yankees.
And since that trade, it looks like New York agrees with him in terms of ERA. You keep that ERA right there, you're going to win a lot of games because they're going to score a lot of runs. Still having some trouble giving up the long ball. 11 home runs and 11 starts. But they gave up a lot. They gave up a lot of good young players to acquire Sonny Gray from Oakland.
Another breaking ball. This one's in the dirt. Curtis Granderson had a pinch hit single in yesterday's game, and then he was caught stealing. That was in the 7th inning. With Betances on the mound, the Blue Jays well aware that he's very deliberate and slow to the plate, but Sanchez made one of the best throws we've seen in recent history. A terrific throw. Right on the bag.
Yeah, they were still talking about it today around the batting cage, the throw that he made. Gregorius didn't even have to move his glove. Kept it right there. Didn't matter a couple of innings later when Pilar was out there.
Donaldson has a stolen base this season. Picked that up in the opener after a walk in the 6th. Fastball, a couple of well-placed fastballs for strikes. 1 and 2. Now, if the pattern continues this inning, this should be a breaking ball.
You would think, and I would think that Donaldson would try and take off with a curveball.
There's the breaking ball, Sonny Gray. 3 two-stack breaking balls to strike out the side against Smoak, Solarte, and Granderson. The Blue Jays strand a pair.
In the same inning, and he caught a lot of his teammates a bit off guard. Justin Smoak said that daring steal of home left most in the dugout, quote, a little bit shocked. Now, Luke Maley, on the other hand, who saw the entire thing unfold, said that the key to that play was how far Brandon Drury was playing off third base. Quote, once I saw that, I had a sense he was going. Now, Pilar told me he's made a conscious effort this past winter to get into better shape. It's a goal of his this season to become more of a base-stealing threat. Put that thought into the pitcher's and catcher's mind. Pilar said the Jays are a better team when they can be more aggressive on the base paths, particularly with balls in the dirt. Bug, there are things we all always talk about, Pilar said, and when the opportunity presents itself, hopefully you're prepared to execute.
When they give you that opportunity, it was a perfect storm of situations because Betances was in the game. He's very deliberate to the plate, and he throws a lot of breaking balls. Pilar took advantage of that. The Blue Jays had 4 stolen bases. Marcus Stroman struck out 2 to end the top of the first. Sonny Gray struck out the side to end the bottom half. This is Brandon Drury. He's 3 for 10 so far this season. Stroman's getting zeroed in with that breaking ball.
We've got 2 pitchers with 2 good breaking balls. So it's going to be a tough afternoon, I think, for both of these hitters. They're trying to lock into it right now.
There's a jam shot to third and a wide throw. We mentioned how important the inner defense is when Stroman's on the mound, and there's a perfect example. Drury got sawed off, a weak grounder. Solarte cut in front of Ngope, and it'll be an error on the third baseman.
And he had a lot more time than he thought because Drury got sawed off. You can see he's not even in your picture yet. Because he got sawed off, he came out of the box very slow. Solarte made 10 errors last year, 3 of them at third base, and he'll be charged with his first one right here.
Yeah, you're right. He's got a lot of time. He could have taken another step, righted himself, and made a strong throw. So it's an error to start the inning for New York. This is Miguel Andujar. He is one of the top prospects in the Yankees organization, and he's just been called up. And they didn't waste any time giving him a start. He's the DH.
Well, they needed to. They've lost 2 players in 2 games, Hicks and McKinney. So they went down to their farm system and brought up probably their most experienced young hitter, if you will. Advanced hitter. He had a great spring for him. He plays third and first. He's going to DH today.
Andujar got into 5 games last year for the Yankees. Big wild swing. Miguel is 23 years old. He's from the Dominican Republic. A terrific hitter. He had a great spring, as Pat mentioned.
He got into those 5 games last year and drove in 4 runs.
Goes after that breaking ball, and he strikes out.
You know, they can tell you over and over, hey, Stroman's got a good breaking ball. You can go look at some of the video of Stroman's breaking ball, but until you step into that batter's box and face it live, I don't know if he's seen a breaking ball like that this year. That one sweeps right off the plate. It looks like a strike, but it's off the plate.
Second baseman Tyler Wade. Breaking ball outside for ball 1. Wade 1 for 8 so far this season.
We were mentioning all the injuries that they've had to their outfield. He was out here today taking some fly balls.
They thought about doing that in the spring, but Aaron Boone felt like it was not fair to Wade as he was competing to win a job at second. They wanted to give him the opportunity to win the job at second, and they thought it wouldn't be fair to him to ask him to play in the outfield during spring training.
So he made the team, but then today, because of the injuries, first to Hicks and then to McKinney, Ellsbury's still a week away, that they might need someone in game. So he was out there with Ronald Torreyes taking some grounders and some fly balls.
And that's the trend around baseball. Infielders that can play outfield. Ronald Torreyes, their extra man, terrific defender, swings the bat pretty well, but he was out shagging in the outfield today as well. 2-1. Ground ball. Smoak has it go off of his glove. Stroman's there at first. In time. Marcus Stroman with terrific instincts. You see a ball hit right to the first baseman. Oftentimes a pitcher will freeze and hesitate. Not the case with Stroman. A terrific reactionary play by Marcus to get there and take the throw from Travis.
And he also had closing speed, if you will. There's the ball off the glove of Smoak. Here comes the closing speed. He gets over there. He is called out by Kerwin Danley. Watch him come off the mound and then sprints over there. That's an athletic move by Marcus. Grabs
Terrific
the ball,
play, and then
touches
the
the bag.
ability to step right on the base. So 2 outs now on the play. Drury moves to second. Austin Romine, the catcher. Romine 1 for 4 against Stroman in his career. Last year, Romine hit .218 with a pair of homers and 21 ribbies. He made 58 starts behind the plate, backing up Gary Sanchez.
That play at first base by Stroman is so difficult because you're hustling over there. Then you have to find the bag and the ball, and how he caught the ball before he got to the bag. A lot of times you'll see pitchers run past that bag when there's a timing issue, ball goes off of a glove or anything like that. He got over there and then was in front of the bag so he could catch the ball, and then the bag was right there. Good instinctual play.
Stroman won his first Gold Glove last year. And with that play, you can see why. 0-2, 2 outs. Russell Martin decoying the runner at second. He moved to the inside part of the plate initially, and then bounced to the outside after calling the slider.
Yeah, just in case they're giving location. Teams will do it with their head. They can do it with your feet, different ways, just to give a little indication to that hitter of where the catcher is setting up. If you know where the catcher is setting up, you can pretty much guess what pitch is coming.
Way outside. The Blue Jays felt like last year some of the Yankee base runners at second were relaying location. There's nothing wrong with that. That's part of the game.
And it's up to you as the defensive team to change things up.
Got it. Another breaking ball for a strikeout. Stroman has 4 strikeouts through 2 innings. The slider, a potent weapon for Marcus Stroman. He puts sinker in their mind and then finishes them off with the breaking ball.
Eyes light up. It's hard to find a more fearless competitor and dedicated teammate. Stay tuned all season long for more stories of how the Blue Jays brand is acting as a catalyst to inspire positive social change from coast to coast to coast. Visit jayscare.com/unstoppablekids to learn more. Buck.
Terrific story. Miles from Cambridge, a good pal of mine. Randall Grichuk batting in the 6th spot. He is 2 for 10 so far with a home run. It's sinking fastball. When you really think about it, Gray and Stroman are pretty similar in their way of pitching. They both have a good moving fastball. They both rely heavily on their breaking ball, and they're both very athletic.
And they can handle left-handers also. Gray had 1st and 3rd, nobody out, 3 lefties coming up, and he struck them all out.
There's another strikeout on a breaking ball. 1 away. Gray has 4 in a row. The Pitch Tracker is brought to you by Coors Light, official beer of Major League Baseball. It's not unusual that early in the season, the pitchers in general have the upper hand. They have the ability to really work on their breaking balls, and where hitters need to refine their timing. And that has been the case. The Blue Jays have struck out a lot in the first 4 games of the season.
You know, the arm strength might not be there for the starters at the beginning. Spring training. Now I know they're going to hear this and get upset, but it's just not long enough for them to build up enough arm strength to go, 100 pitches right out of the chute. You're seeing that all over baseball. Pitchers being pulled after 70 pitches, 80 pitches as they build their arm strength up. It takes another month or so, but they're still ahead of the hitters the first weeks or so of the season.
Well, I think both the innings pitched by pitchers in spring training and the at-bats by hitters are so dramatically reduced that it takes them a while in the regular season to get everything going.
We had a starter the other day, I believe in Philadelphia, leave after 67 or 68 pitches.
Aaron Nola.
And he was dealing.
He had a 5-run lead, and the bullpen coughed it up. Off the plate, Martin draws the 1-out walk. Second walk issued by Gray. Kevin Pillar with a terrific trip around the bases in the 8th inning. He stole 2nd, 3rd, and home. The first player since last year when Will Myers did it for the Padres. First straight steal of home for the Blue Jays since 2007. And that too was against the Yankees. Aaron Hill stole home against Andy Pettit with 2 outs to give the Blue Jays a 2-1 lead in the 7th inning of that game.
The difference is Pettit's a lefty, so his back was to the runner. But Tansis was a righty, and he was in the stretch. So he's facing the runner, but he wasn't paying attention to him.
What gets lost in that steal of home is the fact it was 2 strikes. 2 strikes on Gifton Gope. Line drive, base hit into center field. Martin stops at 2nd. Pillar barreled that thing up. 2nd hit for the Jays.
Did he ever? That had some great sound. And a great looking swing also. Little sinker trying to get the ground ball, and he put it right on the barrel of the wood. You can hear it. Smokes that ball to center field for his first hit.
That's what hitters are looking for, that crisp ring of the bat when you hit it right on the barrel. 1st and 2nd, 1 out for the number 9 hitter, Gifton Gope. And Gope 0 for 4 in the game yesterday. There's a base hit to right. Martin's being waved around 3rd. Here's the throw from Judge. On time, and Martin is out. Erin Judge, 5 outfield assists a year ago, picks up his first here as he threw a 1-hop strike to Austin Romine.
He wasn't playing very deep to begin with in right field, but he did a good job of charging that ball. Wasn't hit that hard by Ngope. I think that's why Luis Rivera sent him. You can see Judge in right field. It's not hit that hard, and the ball really slows down once it gets to the outfield. Judge picks it up, and he's basically in short right field all the way to the plate. A good pick by Romine at the plate. Watch him pick up the short hop and then apply the tag just before Russell could get the hand in there.
It is a short hop, and Romine did a heck of a job of coming up with it and then slaps the tag on Martin. The Blue Jays had a look at the replay, but Judge picks up his first outfield assist, and he gets an assist from his catcher. 2 outs now, runners still at the corners. There's a base hit to right. Pilar will come in to score. Devin Travis drives in the first run of the ball game with his first hit this season.
Devin means so much to this team, and I think that's why the Blue Jays are being a little extra cautious at the beginning of this year. Did not play in yesterday's game. He can hit because he can hit the ball all over the ballpark. They were shading him up the middle again. Wade, the second baseman, shading him towards the bag. It's a breaking ball. Instead of trying to pull it, he just goes right with it. There's the second baseman. Gigantic hole on the right side of the infield. He takes advantage of it.
Martin drew the 1-out walk. He was thrown out at the plate. Pilar had a single to center. He comes in to score the first run of the ball game. Blue Jays with runners at first and second for Josh Donaldson. Donaldson singled off the glove of Didi Gregorius into center field his first time up. Fastball for a strike. It's 1-1. The bottom third of the Blue Jays order is so important to this ball club. Martin got on with a walk, then Pilar singles, and then Ngope got a base hit. Then you turn it over to the top of the order, the guys that are supposed to drive in the runs.
Yeah, with the pressure on the pitcher already in the stretch, got to make them pay.
That cut fastball well off the plate. 2-1. Donaldson and Gray were teammates in Oakland, so there are no secrets between the two. Donaldson is now 5 for 13 against the Yankee righty. Donaldson wasn't sure about that one.
He's saying, well, if you give him the one on the inside corner, you can't give him the one on the outside corner. Looked like that breaking ball might have fallen off the plate a little bit.
Gray with 4 strikeouts. Blue Jays lead it 1-0. Little indecision here.
Can't go out there. You don't want to go out there in the second inning and use up one of your mound visits.
Donaldson got a piece of it and he stays alive.
Shook up Austin Romine a little bit. Breaking ball, and Josh just gets under it.
Two and two, and Ngope from second. Travis from first. Breaking ball for ball 3. So with 2 outs, the runners will be moving on the pitch. And Ngope from second. Travis from first. Donaldson at the plate. Smoak is on deck. A run in here in the second. Up the middle, but the second baseman Tyler Wade right there to take the hot shot to end the inning. But good news for the Blue Jays. Devin Travis is healthy. His bat at the top of the order delivers the first run of the ball game as he knocks in Kevin Pillar. 1-0 for Marcus Stroman.
One of TD's community partners. And it won't be long now. 16 wins, a 2-month grind, all for the Cup. The 2018 Stanley Cup playoffs right here on Sportsnet begins on April 11th.
A lot of great sporting events coming up on Sportsnet, and there's a lot of excitement about the Stanley Cup playoffs. It all starts on April 11th. Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. Back to the top of the Yankee order. Here's Brett Gardner, who grounded out to second his first time up.
Hey, if you were a sports fan in town yesterday, you had a smorgasbord of sports to take a look at, didn't you?
Baseball game, hockey game, basketball game on the road, and the NCAA semifinals. Lots going on.
Lots happening. I'll tell you, there wasn't enough channels. I think I wore out that channel changer last night, checking out all the scores and the highlights.
Changeup missed upstairs, just 81 miles an hour.
That was the pitch in Montreal, I think, that he really tried to establish. If you remember that start, Buck, he was really working that changeup into what he was throwing. It really complemented his fastball and his slider.
Sometimes when a pitcher can command as many pitches as Stroman, it becomes more of a burden than a blessing. As you throw too many pitches, you don't really master them all, but Stroman has done a good job of that.
Yeah, you don't want to overdo it. Well, it looked like it might have caught the strike zone. I think that's what Russell is asking, but you don't want to overdo it. His stuff is so good. Basically, if you can sink the ball and cut the ball and then change speeds with it, that should be enough.
Another strikeout for Stroman, one away. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. The Minnesota Twins are for real. Paul Molitor leading those Twins, and they've got a very good team.
We were talking the other day, and we were trying to find out a Cy Young Award winner, like a guy who's under the radar, who could win the Cy this year. Not the big name guys that you hear every year. And we came up with one, and he's with Minnesota.
Yeah, and you know what? When we talked about it, Barrios, the young righty, 2 2/3 so far today. Jose Barrios, just 23 years old, from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And he is a sleeper.
He's
No
the
question.
guy. He's the guy we came up with. He's got a year under his belt. He had success last year. He's ready to take the next step, and he plays for a really good team, Minnesota.
1-2 to Erin Judge. Called strike 3. Stroman is locked in early here this afternoon.
3 pitches and another strikeout. All different, all right on the corner. This one he can't pull the trigger. He locks him up with that slider. It's a late breaking slider. It looks like a fastball, but you can see from that spin, the little dot on the baseball, that that's a slider.
Giancarlo Stanton drew a walk his first time up. Back-to-back walks to Judge and Stanton in the first. There's that hesitation, and it's a good time for that. Stroman facing Stanton for just the second time in his career gave Stanton a totally different look.
I love it. And then you can quick pitch him if you want to. You can. He stops and then he starts. No swing, says Kerwin Danley. But there's nothing wrong with that when there's nobody on base. Nothing illegal with that. It's another way of upsetting the timing of those hitters.
Six strikeouts for Marcus. He walks Stanton for a second time. A 2-out walk. And that'll bring Gregorius to the plate. Didi struck out in the first. Gregorius now 5 for 22 against Stroman. He struck out on a breaking ball down and in his first time up. Fastball right on the corner. In and out, up and down, changing speeds, really doing everything he can to take the sting out of the Yankees bats.
Change your delivery. A little bit more conventional now with a runner at first base.
That's driven in the alley in left field, and that's going to get down and go up against the fence. Stanton is being waved around third. He's going to come in to score, and Didi Gregorius has his 4th extra base hit of the season, and he's tied the game at 1 apiece.
You know, we mentioned that Marcus was using his changeup a lot in Montreal to try to refine it and get it into what he's going to throw. It looked like he might have thrown one there. Yep, there's the changeup away, and Gregorius doesn't try and pull it. That's the key. Hits that ball to left field. I thought it had a shot to bounce over for a ground rule double, and then Stanton wouldn't score, but watch when it hits. It hits right off the top of the wall, and that allows Stanton to circle the bases and tie it up.
First hit of the ball game for New York. 3rd double for Gregorius. Neil Walker, the first baseman. Good sink on that fastball.
Reached back for a little something extra right there. 93 miles an hour. And got some movement on it.
Here's the 1-1 pitch from Stroman. Inside off the plate. Right on the outside corner. Again, in and out, up and down, back and forth on the velocity.
Yeah, and to their credit, the Yankee hitters are very patient. This next pitch from Marcus is going to be 60, and it's only the 3rd inning.
Breaking ball, base hit through the left side. Gregorius is around third. There'll be no throw. And Neil Walker has given the Yankees a 2-1 lead with his first RBI of the season.
Again, didn't try and do too much. Another breaking ball that just kind of stayed over the middle of the plate. And instead of trying to pull it, like Gregorius, he just went with it. There is a big hole on the left side. You'll see Ngope, the shortstop, shading up the middle. Breaking ball away, and the professional hitter that Walker is. There's Ngope. Big hole on the left side, just hit a ground ball. Easy ground ball into the outfield, pick up an RBI.
Brandon Drury takes a first pitch strike with the fastball. Drury reached on the air by the third baseman his first time up. Hit a little slow roll to third that Solarte threw wild to first. 0-2 quickly here with 2 outs. Stroman struck out Gardner and Judge to start the inning and then walked Stanton. Stanton scored on the Gregorius double, and Gregorius scored on Walker's RBI single. Fly ball deep to left field. Granderson back at the track, and this ball is gone. Brandon Drury, with his first home run of the season, makes it 4-1 New York. RBIs 3 and 4 for the Yanks third baseman.
You know, we talked about him, about how impressive he has looked with the bat and with the glove. It's 0-2, and he's going to try and protect the plate. 2 fastballs away for 2 strikes. And then Marcus goes to that slider, and he gets under it just a little bit, and it stays up over the middle of the plate. And Drury, who hit 13 home runs last season, that's #1 this season.
This Yankee rally began with 2 outs and nobody on, and there's no one that can criticize the walk to Stanton. You pitch carefully to him and say, okay, I'll take my chances with the next guy. And the next guy, Gregorius, hit the RBI double, then Walker single, then now Drury has homered. This Yankee lineup is tough.
Yeah, we saw it in game 1 where the top of the lineup did all the damage. Game 2, the bottom of the lineup did all the damage. And they're back at it. The middle of the lineup today has done the damage.
Miguel Andujar, the DH. A strikeout victim his first time up as the Blue Jays bullpen goes to work. First up, Erin Judge. Andujar had 45 at-bats in spring training for New York. Hit a pair of doubles, a triple, and 4 home runs. He played against the Blue Jays on the final Saturday of spring training. He had already been sent out, but they brought him back to play third base. He was 1 for 3, 2 walks, and scored 3 runs. He pops this one up back over the screen and out of play.
They like his bat potential. Feel like there's some pop in that bat, some quickness, that he's going to hit home runs. He's not a real big guy, but he's got a very quick bat. spent last season in the minor leagues. Was going to go there to refine his defense, but they need him here.
He's 23 years old, and the Yankees, they have rebuilt on the fly. Just 7 of the 25 players on the opening day roster were 30 years or older. Chopper, Stroman bare hands, fires all in one motion, makes a terrific play to end the inning. But the Yankees get 4 runs, capped off by a 2-run home run off the bat of Drury.
Lieutenant Matthew Bryn, a construction engineering officer. Lieutenant Bryn has served for over 20 years. He has deployed to the former Yugoslavia, Afghanistan, South Sudan, and Nepal. Lieutenant Matthew Bryn, today's Sunday Salute.
Sunday Salute, a big part of the home schedule here at Rogers Center as the Blue Jays honor men and women of the Canadian Forces every Sunday at home. Blue Jays got some work to do. They trail by 3. New York leads it 4-1. Weston Smoak takes a first pitch strike. Big inning for Sonny Gray after his team put up a 4 spot in the top half of this inning.
They like to get a shutdown inning, and this is the part of the lineup that he shut down in the first inning. After the Blue Jays got the first 2 runners on, they weren't able to bring him around because he struck out the side.
Smoak, Solarte, and Granderson to end the bottom of the first.
Lefties hit .221 against him last year, 7th lowest in the American League. I think a lot of that has to do with that breaking ball and the changeup that he used last year.
The Yankees, everybody's talking about their great offense and the power in their lineup. Don't shortchange the pitching staff. The Yankees starters in the first 3 games of this series have been terrific. Severino 5 2/3. Tanaka 1 run over 6 innings. Sabathia 1 earned run over 5 innings. It's the first time in Yankee franchise history that each of their first 3 starters has allowed 1 or fewer earned runs. Think about that for a moment.
Yeah, when you think about the Yankee history, a lot of credit has to go to that guy right there in the glasses. That's Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, who's been here for a number of years.
3-2 pitch to Smoak. Ball 4. Another walk issued by Gray. 3rd of the ball game. A leadoff walk here in the 3rd. Pitching coaches always talk about shutdown innings from your starter after the team has given you a lead. The Blue Jays now will send up the cleanup hitter, Giancarlo Solarte. Solarte struck out on a 2-2 curveball his first time up. Get ready for that heater.
Yeah, after falling behind and then walking the leadoff hitter, he threw a heater, but it sunk off the plate. Took a little something off of that one. We have seen Gray really good in the past. Today's not as sharp. He's thrown almost as many balls in the strike zone as balls out of the strike zone.
And now there's going to be the first trip to the mound, and it might be perfect time for Austin Romine to go out there and try to get Gray back in the strike zone.
They had a pitching coach, and now this one here. So that should be number 2 written down by the home plate umpire, David Arackley. I checked that. That was the first one. Mound visits. There you go. 5-5.
2 balls and no strikes. Ball 3. Got to be taking all the way right here in the third with Granderson on deck. Gray walk Smoak to start the inning. Taking all the way. There's the strike. Now 3-1.
This is where you just tee it up right here. You say, I'm going to imagine a ball right on a tee out in front. If he throws it there, I'm going to just let it go. If not, just take it.
There's a drive to left field. Stanton will play him on a hop. Smoak stops at second. Blue Jays got something going here in the bottom of the third.
The 2018 Civic. When it leads off, it leads for good. Honda, proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
It is Junior Jays Sunday today on Easter Sunday. Last several years, Junior Jays was on Saturday. They have changed it this season. Nobody out, 2 aboard. Curtis Granderson. There's a breaking ball for a strike.
Back to the breaking ball. Solarte's at bat. He got himself into another fastball count. And he got a pitch that he liked. Too bad he couldn't get that ball in the air. That would have meant 2 runs for the Blue Jays.
Pretty good looking pitch off the plate. No swing on the appeal. They asked Scott Berry down at third. He said Granderson checked his swing. I think the catcher, Austin Romine, was surprised it wasn't a called strike.
Yeah, and I think his natural reaction was to, hey, maybe he swung at it. Well, you can see from that pitch cast, it's just off the plate.
1-1 pitch. Breaking ball pulled on the ground. Walker to second for 1. Not in time. Back to first. Neil Walker playing at first base. He's a natural second baseman. Had a little bit of trouble finding that baseball in that big first baseman's mitt.
And because of the angle where Gregorius was coming from, his momentum couldn't take him across the bag, so he couldn't get anything on the throw. He caught the ball flat-footed, and there's just nothing there. You can see where he is set up behind second base, and his angle to the bag, his momentum can't go to first, so he throws it flat-footed, and there's really nothing on it. That's the, maybe the drawback from the shift. When you shift like that, you're not coming across the bag towards first base.
Brando Grichuk at the plate as Granderson dives back in ahead of the throw at first. One out. Smoak at third. Granderson at first. Another quick throw to first. Granderson was caught stealing in the 7th inning of the game yesterday with Betances on the mound, and he got a decent jump. Didn't have a great lead, but Sanchez made one of the best throws we've seen, right on top of the bag at second. Oh, and 1.
As a hitter here, you're thinking about, okay, I got to get this ball into the outfield somehow, either via a base hit or a long fly ball. I got to score a run. If he's going to walk that leadoff batter, I've got to figure out a way to score at least one here.
I think in this situation, Grichuk really got to be thinking about hitting the ball to the right side of the infield. Not only is there a big hole there, but Randall runs so well. It's a difficult double play for the Yankees to turn if he hits it on the right side of the diamond.
You know what that does also? If you're thinking up the middle or the other way, you're going to stay on that breaking ball. And Sonny Gray has found when he gets into trouble, he throws a lot of breaking balls.
That fastball ran all the way across the plate. Saw the target presented by Romine. He wanted it outside. One and 2. Checked his swing on the hard breaking ball. This is where the Blue Jays really have to improve from a year ago, delivering clutch hits.
They did it in yesterday's ball game, coming up with some clutch hits. Smoak had one to drive in Donaldson. Another throw over to first base. Smokey also doubled the drive in a run in the 3rd inning. Luke Maley came up with a big base hit with 2 outs to drive in a run.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Grichuk strikes out for a second time. 5 strikeouts for Gray.
Gray's got a good breaking ball, and he'll use it. There's the tight spin. It's down and away. That ball's going away from Grichuk. That's why we were saying if you think about going the other way, you'll stay on that ball just a little bit better.
Russell Martin drew a walk his first time up, and he was thrown out at home plate by Erin Judge. Hits this one hard, but right to the shortstop, and that'll do it. The Blue Jays will leave a pair of base runners. The Jays have stranded 2 in each of the first 3 innings, and they trail 4-1.
A nice moment for him as a Blue Jay. He said when you're on a new team, you want to make a good first impression in front of the home fans. As for this at-bat against Dellin Betances, he told me he threw him 2 sliders before connecting with that fastball with the help of interpreter Josue Pele. Solarte said, quote, when you're facing a guy that's as nasty as Betances, you just look for a pitch to connect. Asked him for his reaction to that Pilar steal of home. You saw it there, his celebration dance. Solarte said that steal of home he liked even more than his home run. He said it's something special you don't see every day. And if you're kind of, taking a dig at him for that dance, Buck. He says he brings energy and enthusiasm to the ballpark every day. That's what you get, he told me, when you have Solarte on your team.
Well, you want these players to show emotion, and certainly that was an emotional time. He had a go-ahead home run for his first home run with a new team. You can't blame him for that.
Jays needed it. Jays needed that win, and Gibby's talked about that, the energy that he brings to this team, and you saw it in the 8th inning. It's a good addition. I like what he can bring to this team. Switch hitter, he's got some power, he can play different positions, and showing off that he can play.
Tyler Wade, the Yankees second baseman. Wade grounded out on what was officially a 3-4-1 ground out. Ball went off the glove of the first baseman, Smoak, carried him to Travis, and then Stroman made a terrific athletic play to cover first base to retire Wade. And Wade can run. Ground ball. This time Smoak has no problem. Steps on the bag, one away.
Hit a home run with any project this season. Home Hardware, proud sponsor of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Lots of youngsters having a great time here on this Easter Sunday. And we are fortunate to have a roof here at Rogers Center. It is cold outside. The Kansas City Royals and Chicago White Sox were scheduled to play this afternoon in Chicago. That game has already been postponed because of a heavy snow accumulation. To Hopper to third. Solarte, long throw in time, and Austin Romine is the second out of the inning.
Walked to the ballpark this morning, and I think I was outside 4 minutes, maybe a grand total of 4 minutes, and I said the same thing. I'm like, thank goodness we have a dome.
The Yankees will have their home opener tomorrow afternoon in New York, and the forecast calls for snow. Tampa Bay will be there to open up the season, and the Yankees are going to commemorate the 40th anniversary of their World Series championship in 1978.
We had that shot right there of Aaron Boone, who will manage the Yankees for the first time in front of the home team. He's going to have 9 friends fly in for the game. His dad's coming in for the game also to witness his first game at home. Said his buddies just called him up and said, you know what, we're coming. We got to be there for you.
It's hard to imagine, but Aaron Boone is the 18th Yankee manager to have played for the Yankees. That seems like a lot, doesn't it?
Well, let's see. Lou Piniella. Did Willie Randolph manage him for a little bit, like a game or two? Maybe.
This is chopped off home plate. Stroman waits for it and throws out right. We'll talk more about the list of Yankee managers that have played and managed Marcus Stroman. Needs just 8 pitches to set down the side in order. New managers this year, one of 5 first-time managers. Alex Cora, Mickey Callaway, Gabe Kapler, Aaron Boone, and Dave Martinez all managing for the first time. And of course, the veteran Ron Gardenhire in Detroit managing the Tigers. Aaron Boone's first few games as a manager has gone a little bit smoother than Gabe Kapler's first few games.
That, to say the least. It's been a rough couple of days for Gabe. Not so much for Aaron. We're talking about his being the 18th former player to now manage for the Yankees. A couple other guys on that list. Joe Girardi played for the Yankees and managed them for 10 years.
Ground ball, base hit up the middle. Leadoff single for Kevin Pillar, his second hit of the afternoon.
He likes what he sees from Sonny Gray this afternoon. He hit a fastball up the middle for a base hit his first time up and then weighted back nicely on this off-speed pitch. Ball spins. You can see he waits just a fraction of a second longer. Stays with it and then just drills it up the middle for a hit.
Gift in Gope had a base hit to right field his first time up. His first hit as a Blue Jay.
He can run, and he has bluffed a bunt already in one of his starts yesterday. That's why Brandon Drury, the third baseman, is creeping in early in the count.
Breaking ball for strike 2. Pillar, of course, with the 3 stolen bases yesterday, gets a calling card from Sonny Gray.
Blue Jays are getting plenty of runners on base so far against Gray. They just have to figure out a way to bring them around.
The Blue Jays have stranded a pair of runners in each of the first 3 innings of this game, and Kevin Pillar has reached base to start the 4th. Leadoff man has reached in 3 of the first 4 innings for the Blue Jays. Breaking ball in, and Gope strikes out. 6 strikeouts for Gray.
All of them swinging. All of them on breaking balls. That one. There's the grip, and he pulls down with that middle finger. He creates a lot of spin on that breaking ball.
Back to the top of the order. Devin Travis, hitting in the leadoff spot, has reached base twice. He's walked and singled. He's driven in the only Blue Jays run of the afternoon.
His last time up, he hit a ball into right field for a base hit, and the second baseman Tyler Wade was shading him up the middle. You can see he's taken a couple of more steps now to close off that hole on the right side of the infield. He could still get to second base for the double play if he needs to. I didn't think they had to overshift so much against Travis because he hits the ball from foul line to foul line.
There's a big hole there between the second baseman Wade and the first baseman Walker. Travis swings at that inside pitch. A lot of movement on that fastball.
Former first-round draft pick, 18th overall, Sonny Gray by Oakland. They've done a good job over the years in drafting college pitchers and getting them to the big leagues quickly.
Off the plate. Travis last April had a terrible start to his season. He played in 21 games, hit 130 in the month of April. He just wasn't ready to start the season by his own admission. And then April turned to May, and he really took off. Devin hit 364 in the month of May with 16 doubles and 19 RBIs. he really was responsible for turning around the team overall. He was a spark in that month of May.
Put him at the top of the lineup, 16 doubles, and then unfortunately got hurt again and then did not play after June the 4th.
Gray strikes him out. 2 strikeouts in the inning. 7 in the game for Gray.
Another breaking ball. There it is. That could be almost classified as a spike curve, where you take that middle, or excuse me, the index finger, take it off, and you just basically throw it with your thumb and your index finger. Lots of spin on it. 7 strikeouts now.
Josh Donaldson grounded out to the second baseman his last time up. Boy, look at the location of that breaking ball, right on the outside corner. Ball and a strike. Bottom of the 4th inning, the Yankees lead 4-1. The Blue Jays have out hit New York 6-3. Gray got Donaldson to chase that high heater.
Yeah, he's been effective going up and in with the sinker, and then curveball to these righties. That one just rode up and in on Donaldson. Maybe we'll see another breaking ball.
Donaldson hit his first home run last season in Game 4 against Tampa Bay. Against Danny Farquhar, the right-handed reliever. This is Game 4 of the season. Gray has surrendered 6 hits and he's walked 3. As you mentioned, Pat, Blue Jays have had plenty of base runners.
Plenty of
tough
chances.
Pitch to lay off of right there.
Yeah, I think he knew it was coming too. I mean, that's pretty much, you can book it. He's been throwing that breaking ball with 2 strikes, but they've had leadoff walks in the 1st inning. They had a leadoff base hit here in the 4th inning, had a leadoff walk in the 3rd inning and couldn't score.
Full count, 2 outs. Pilar will be off on the pitch. There he goes. Donaldson hits it off the end of the bat, foul. Gray is the number 4 starter for Aaron Boone in this rotation. Jordan Montgomery is scheduled to start the opener at home tomorrow afternoon in New York. Another foul. We mentioned the Yankees are going to celebrate the anniversary of the '78 World Series team, as you see Montgomery and Sabathia having a chat on the Yankees bench. How about Bucky Dent and Mickey Rivers throwing out the first pitch tomorrow in New York? 2 of the important members of that '78 team. Of course, Bucky Dent had that big home run in Boston in the playoff game against the Red Sox. Donaldson lays off that tough pitch, and down at first, Kerwin Danley says that Donaldson swung at it for another strikeout. Sonny Gray strikes out the side in the 4th. He's racked up 8 strikeouts this afternoon. It took an appeal down the first, but Donaldson strikes out to end the inning. 4-1 New York. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddle in the Samsung broadcast studio. Stroman, listed at 5'8", 180, has been able to handle the two big sluggers. And look at the difference in size. Judge is 6'7", 282. Stanton is 6'6", 245, and it doesn't make any difference.
No, he can even out the playing field, if you will, because height doesn't matter. Just ask him. He says that all the time. It doesn't matter. He can compete on this level. It doesn't matter. That's the beauty of this game right here. They come in all shapes and sizes in baseball.
That's a strike, and Russell Martin just missed it, and so did the umpire.
He didn't call that one a strike. That's what Russell's asking him right there.
Again, there's another great example of how the framing stats are flawed. Gives one back. 2-1 now to the leadoff man here in the fifth.
We're all even. He walked Judge the first time up and then got him looking for something else. Struck him out looking in the third inning.
He got a good pitch to hit there and found it straight back.
You know what? He's done a good job against Judge and Stanton's keeping the ball down. I think that's the first ball, hittable ball that Judge has seen this afternoon.
Stroman has thrown 80 pitches to this point, and because of that, Danny Barnes has started to loosen up in the bullpen. Judge is called out on strikes. Stroman baffled Judge. He couldn't pull the trigger on that fastball. He strikes out for a second time, looking.
You know what's interesting, what makes Marcus so tough is he's got that ability to bring the ball back. You can see where Russell Martin is set up off the plate, but watch the fastball come back over the plate. Look at that, way off the plate. The glove is actually in the other batter's box, and it comes back over the plate. Tough to hit that one.
The whole baseball was covering the outside corner on that last pitch to Judge. Stanton goes after the first pitch and fouls it back.
You know, as a hitter, you have a sense and a feel of where the catcher is set up. And if you feel he's way off the plate and the ball starts off the plate like that, you give up on it. And you let it go, and that's how you get the strikeout.
Changeup for strike two. Stanton has walked both times he's come to the plate. He drew a 2-out walk in the third and came around to score. Stroman strikes him out. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the fifth.
Well, we talked about it at the beginning of this inning. You even up the playing field in the game. It doesn't matter how big you are. He strikes out the two big boys here to start the fifth inning.
D.D. Gregorius has come up with some big hits in this series, batting in the cleanup spot. Hits this ball high and deep to center. Pilar breaks it down on the warning track. He's got room. Marcus Stroman gets Gregorius to fly out to center to end the top of the fifth. 3 up, 3 down. Now the offense needs to do some work for Stroman. increases their strikeout total to 41. It's the most in the American League, 11 more than the Rays, who are second.
They were in the middle of the pack last year in the American League in strikeouts, and they made an effort to try and come up with some hitters that would do a better job of putting the ball in play in tough situations. So far, they're facing the Yankee pitching staff, and you said it earlier. You got to give them some credit. They've got some pretty decent starters.
Justin Smoak will lead things off here in the bottom of the 5th. Takes the first pitch ball. Last year, the Blue Jays, as you mentioned, were 8th in strikeouts in the American League. 211 strikeouts fewer than Tampa Bay, who led the American League in strikeouts. 1-1. We mentioned the rotation is very good for New York. Same for the bullpen, and that's Chad Green who gets the call to get up.
They have made him work. The strikeouts are great. You mentioned he's got 8 through 4 innings, but he's also jumped that pitch count up in his first start of the season. He's up to 82 just in the 5th inning, so this might be it.
We mentioned the Yankees starters. The first 3 starters in this 4-game series have each held the Blue Jays to 1 or fewer earned runs. Severino, Tanaka, and Sabathia, and Gray has done the same thing this afternoon. It's the first time in franchise history since earned runs became an official stat in 1913 that all 3 Yankees starters over the first 3 games of a season each allowed 1 earned run or fewer.
Would have been 2 today if not for that great throw by Erin Judge in right field. Blue Jays had a runner cut down at the plate in the 2nd inning.
Breaking ball. Marcus Stroman, the starter. It's a handshake from John Gibbons. And Stroman, 8 strikeouts in his first start of the season. The 8 strikeouts for Stroman matches his career high against the Yankees. This is his 14th start. He also had 8 strikeouts against New York at Yankee Stadium in September of 2016.
Boy, what a battle. Smoak led off the 3rd inning with a walk, but was stranded at 3rd base. Everything has been away to him, and he's laid off or fouled off those pitches.
Another foul.
9 pitch at bats so far. That'll make his afternoon, his exit a little bit quicker. That's why you see Larry Rothschild on the phone. They might hook him if he loses Smoak.
Yeah, especially it's an extended at bat. I mean, obviously they'd like him to get 5 innings. Smoak lifts a little looper that is going to drop for a base hit. What a good at bat for Justin Smoak. He battled and battled and battled and ends up with a base hit. Aaron Boone out of the Yankee dugout, and there's the call to the bullpen. So Sonny Gray, despite having a 4-1 lead, will not go 5 innings.
89 pitches in those 4+ innings for Gray. He will not have a decision in this one. And now it's up to the bullpen.
Chad Green will come on with a man at first and nobody out. The Blue Jays trail 4-1. Green, and you know, back end of the bullpen gets all the attention, but Chad Green is impressive, and he really neutralizes the opponent's bats.
The lowest relief opponents on base plus slugging. You know, everyone knows about Andrew Miller, Craig Kimbrell, but Chad Green is number 3. He also made one start for the Yankees last year, but of his relief appearances last year, 29 of them were more than 1 inning. So he can give you 2 innings, 2 1/3 innings. They're going to have to stretch him out, I think, today, because you got to figure that Chapman might be down. Sonny Gray can only pitch into the 5th inning, so they're going to have to be creative with that bullpen the rest of the way.
Green making his 2nd appearance of the season. He pitched an inning and a 1/3 on Thursday, the season opener. Solarte did not face Green, as he didn't play in the opener. Ball on the strike.
Well, one of the things that Chad Green has, he's got a good fastball. It's an explosive fastball. He's got that free and easy delivery, and all of a sudden the ball gets on top of you. .96. I think that was a good example of not being real familiar with his fastball. Solarte was fooled on that one, and it got there quick, so you're going to have to start your swing a little bit early.
Upstairs for the strikeout. Green had 3 strikeouts in his season debut. He's got 1 here.
Canada's favorite car cheers for Canada's favorite team. Honda, proud fan since 1977, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Easter Sunday here at Rogers Center. Decent crowd on hand. Blue Jays trying to even the series at 2 games apiece. Yankees won the first 2 games. The Blue Jays won yesterday afternoon. Curtis Granderson is over 2. Boy, there's a lot of finish on that fastball down the bottom part of the strike zone.
He averaged 13 strikeouts per 9 innings. Just another arm that was added to that bullpen of hard throwers.
There's no mystery to what Green's approach is, coming at you with that fastball.
Yeah, especially with a runner on base. He's going to just pump those fastballs in there. Fastball can touch 98 miles an hour. He's got a little bit of a cut to it. He's got good command of that fastball, as you can tell where he's throwing those pitches to the last 2 batters.
Comes right back with another heater and strikes out Granderson. Well, the Blue Jays continue to strike out. Now they have struck out 10 times this afternoon in the Yankees bullpen. They're going to rack up some strikeouts.
Yeah, just another arm that we told you about that was added to a bullpen like this. Opponents average, they were first in that. Opponents slugging percentage, on base percentage, plus slugging, and then the strikeout percentage. You got Robertson and Canely and Green, Betances, Chapman. Guys who can rush it up there quickly. When that fastball is up like that from Green, that's by design. He's got good command of it down and up in the strike zone.
Off the end of the bat, Drury waits and fires to first. Nice scoop over at first by Neil Walker. That ends the inning as Grichuk grounds out. Chad Green comes out of the bullpen and strikes out a pair. debut, and he retired the final 7 he faced. He ran into problems, and it all started with 2 outs in the 3rd when the Yankees scored all of their runs.
2 outs, nobody on, a walk, a double, a single, a home run, and then that was it. So he'll be charged with 4 earned runs in 5 innings on just 3 base hits to go along with 8 strikeouts. He'll be picked up by Danny Barnes, 3rd time that we have seen Danny in this 4-game series. Pitched in the opening game an inning, gave up a run, and then bailed out Erin Sanchez the next night, facing just 1 batter. That was Brett Gardner, got him to pop up. Day off yesterday, so now he gets Neil Walker to begin the 6th.
Just off the plate for ball 1. Walker had an RBI single in that 4-run 3rd inning. Driven to deep center field, but Pilar is there. Walker's retired, 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. So far, Xander Bogaerts is 0 for 3. He's gotten off to a great start. Coming into this game, he was 8 for 12 with 5 doubles and 6 extra base hits.
Alex Cora was talking to him, his new manager, saying, hey, you know, why don't I hear your name among the best shortstops in baseball, the Correas and the Lindors? You're as good as either of those guys. Oh, he's proven his manager right, the start that he's gotten off to this year.
Brandon Drury quickly behind 0-2. Reaches for that outside pitch. That's going to fall for a base hit. Drury with a big wide turn around first. He'll stay there.
This is our extended chance to watch Brandon Drury. I've been impressed over these 4 days watching him. You can see why the Yankees were so high on him, why they wanted to trade for him. That's an 0-2 pitch on the outside part of the plate, and he's able to cover it, get a piece of it. That's a good 2-strike approach on a pretty good pitch.
Drury is now 5 for 13 in the series, and he had a 2-run home run off Stroman in the 3rd inning. Miguel Andujar in his first start of the season just called up after the game yesterday. Struck out in the 2nd.
They like his power potential. We were talking about his last time up. 16 home runs last year in AA and AAA. And 82 driven in. I watched him in spring training a little bit, and I saw some bat quickness. Pitchers tried to throw fastballs by him, and he jumped all over them.
There's a Barnes slider, something he has worked hard on, trying to incorporate it into his mix. Last year was mostly fastball changeup, but he worked hard this spring to improve that breaking ball.
That's what spring training's all about, right? And what it's for. If you want to pick up a new pitch, try a new pitch, use that slider to try and get that into what he throws. Just something else to make those hitters think about. I think his bread and butter is always going to be a well-placed fastball changeup. And it's a good one. He's got good arm action on that changeup.
Fly ball to right. Grichuk has a bead on it just on the edge of the warning track, and he makes the catch. Andujar is 0 for 3.
There was one of those well-placed fastballs right there, down and away, and Andujar had to reach for it. Just couldn't get all of it. It's a lazy fly ball to right field.
Danny Barnes is 28 years old, and it took him a while to get to the big leagues. He signed with the Blue Jays in 2010 and didn't get to the big leagues until 2016. Tyler Wade takes one up and away.
He just had to do it with smarts, grit and determination, and just stick to it-ness. Because he wasn't a high draft pick, because he's not a guy who throws 95 miles an hour, just had to go out there and just get outs and make believers of people in the organization. And he did that, and he came to the big leagues. Remember that day in Houston? He came in a tight situation and got some punch outs.
He was drafted in the 35th round of the 2010 June draft. I mean, his making it to the big leagues is a story in itself.
As a college player in the 35th?
Fifth, yep.
35th round as a college draft. Usually those guys stick around for a year or two and then say, you know what, this isn't going to work out for him, but he stuck with it, persevered, and here he is.
Good fastball. Boy, it's all about location for Barnes. Look at those two strikes. You can't place them any better than he has.
Well-placed fastball. It's 91 or 92 miles an hour with not a lot of movement, but he puts it where he needs to. He can go up the ladder one more time here with that fastball.
One and two. Drury at first. Now it's 2-2. The Yankees scored 4 runs in the top of the third. The Blue Jays had a 1-0 lead at that point. The Yankees' runs all came with 2 outs. And that's where we stand now. The Yankees have managed just 4 hits. The same total they had yesterday. Now it's a full count. Smoak will get Barnes' attention and let him know he's going to play behind the runner at first. Austin Romine, the catcher, is on deck. Foul tip. Martin hangs on for the strikeout. Danny Barnes gives up a 1-out single and nothing more. The Blue Jays will bat trailing 3 runs, 4-1 New York.
Experience to catch every moment this season. Get Blue Jays home screen icons and features such as the MLB TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel, as the Blue Jays are set to bat in the bottom of the 6th inning, trailing 4-1. Chad Green came on with a man on and nobody out last inning, struck out 2 as he retired the 3 batters he's faced. Green in this series has faced 7 Blue Jays and has 5 strikeouts.
That's what he does. He comes in and he just pounds the strike zone with that fastball and the cutter. He had a game last year in August in Cleveland where he faced 8 batters, struck out 7 of them. There's a foul ball. He became the first pitcher in Major League history to record 7 strikeouts while facing 8 or fewer batters in a game. Against Cleveland. Basically, here it is. See what you can do with it.
As long as they're not hitting it, there's no reason to change.
Yeah. That time he tried a little slider right there to change things up. But again, he comes right after you on that good downhill plane. He can go up, he can go down in the strike zone.
Russell Martin with a 2-2 count. Called strike 3 right on the outside corner. Another strikeout for New York. Gray had 8. Green now with his 3rd strikeout. Sonny Gray was the starter. He went 4 plus a batter. Gave up 7 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. So the Blue Jays had plenty of opportunities. They just couldn't come up with a big hit.
Couldn't bust through against Sonny. 3 walks in 4 plus innings to go along with those 7 hits. Plenty of base runners, just couldn't do anything with it.
Kevin Pillar has 2 of the 7 Blue Jay hits this afternoon. Pillar carrying his hot spring training bat right into the regular season. Another hit for Kevin. Boy, he's got a great approach at the plate right now. 3rd hit of the afternoon, 6th hit in 4 games.
Got a fastball for a hit his first time up and then hit a ball right back through the middle. But what's impressive is watch this approach. It's a breaking ball down and away. Watch how he stays on it and covers it. If he tries to pull that ball, that's a ground ball to the shortstop, but he lets it get deep and then just serves the ball the other way. That is plate coverage and a good approach against a tough pitcher.
With Pillar at first and 1 out, Kendrys Morales will pinch hit for the starting shortstop Gift in Gope, and Gope finishes up 1 for 2. Well, it's Morales, a power threat.
Yeah, John Gibbons is hoping right here. 1 swing of the bat will get the Blue Jays right back in. And I think if Pillar was not on base, he would have let Ngope hit. But after that base hit, he's hoping for 1 swing to get him within 1 run.
Kendrys started the opener as the DH. He was 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. He was a pinch hitter in game 2 and popped out to the first baseman. That was against David Robertson. Ball and a strike, 1 out. For those of you who have not seen it, Morales has been sporting glasses, and he has been very pleased with his improved vision. He had some trouble with his right eye. He couldn't pick up the baseball, but since he's put the glasses on, he feels much more confident at the plate.
Says he can see that breaking ball down now. Green's not really a breaking ball type of pitcher. It's more power. And this should be a good matchup for Morales. Fastball pitcher, fastball hitter.
Leadoff man Devin Travis is on deck. Swinging a high drive left field, carry ball. That ball is going to be caught right on the warning track. Giancarlo Stanton making his first start ever in the big leagues in left field. Does a nice job, and there's a different flight of the ball off the bat of a left-handed hitter when you move from right field to left field.
That ball's going to slice away from the left fielder from a left-handed batter, but he covered a lot of ground. You see him looking at his scouting report, covered a lot of ground. He's not even in your picture, and this ball is fair down the left field line. Watch how that ball slices away. But he gets there in plenty of time to make the catch.
2 away now, back to the top of the order. Devin Travis picked up his first hit of the season in the second, an RBI single to right. He has walked and struck out. Not too many hitters on this Blue Jays roster have any kind of success against Green.
Came from the Tigers right before the 2016 season. That's just good scouting right there. Somebody saw something in Chad Green. He was an 11th round draft pick out of the University of Louisville by the Tigers in 2013. And before the 16 season, they sent Justin Wilson, another hard-throwing lefty from the Yankees, to the Tigers for Luis Cessa and Chad Green. Now he's become a very valuable pitcher in that bullpen.
Another strikeout, 96, top of the strike zone. Blue Jays a strikeout twice more here in the 6th. John Axford coming out of the Blue Jays bullpen.
A swing and a belt with Dan Shulman. Go behind the scenes with personal stories from the game. It all drops next Thursday. Buck.
Thank you very much as we are set for the top half of the 7th inning. Junior Jays Saturday, a lot of kids in attendance, and John Axford will make his second appearance of the season.
We saw Axe on opening day right here. He threw a third of an inning for the Blue Jays in that one. I think John Gibbons is thinking, you know, they're going to be turning the lineup over here. I want a little bit more power facing Judge and Stanton, who are coming up 3 and 4 this inning. That is Ledmus Diaz, who has taken over at shortstop.
(9-1-2) for New York here in the 7th. Axford gets a weak ground ball. Big hop for Travis, and Romine's retired on 1 pitch.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now.
The Blue Jays didn't sign John Axford until the 9th of February this season. John's got over 7 years of Major League service. First big league time was in 2009. He got into 7 games with the Milwaukee Brewers.
He had some big years of some saves when he was the closer with the Brewers.
With the Brewers, he had seasons of 24, 46, 35 saves. He led the National League in relief innings, 73 2/3 in 2011.
The coaches, especially Pete Walker, were singing the praises of John Axford in spring training, saying, boy, he has come in great shape, first of all, and his fastball has just been crackling to home plate. A lot of movement and lighten up that radar gun. Look at that pitch. 97 with movement.
He's come in and he's pounding the strike zone. Gardner called out on strikes. He strikes out for a second time this afternoon. 2 up, 2 down for John Axford.
And if you could see this pitch, there's the two-seam action when he lets go and how that ball is coming back over the plate. If you could see it from up top like we did, that cut the corner. And no argument from Gardner.
Erin Judge, 96, but inside. Axford actually signed with the New York Yankees as an amateur free agent 2007. Upstairs. He pitched at 4 different levels that first year. A total of 27 games, and then he was let go by the Yankees, and Milwaukee signed him.
He looks like a Yankee type of pitcher, doesn't he? Tall, throws hard.
And he walks Judge. Couldn't find the strike zone. Judge walks for a second time. He walked twice so far this afternoon. Stanton walked twice. Stanton struck out against Stroman in the 5th. No question about the arm strength of John Axford.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that caught my eye when I watched him in the spring was, wow, 96, 97.
Now with some serious movement too, and he's been commanding it. Throwing it where he needs to, and he's got the experience. The experience of closing, experience of playing in the big leagues for a while. And he's home. Got a chance to talk to him the other day, and I asked him how's it feel to basically be pitching at home, and he's very excited. Says it feels great.
There's that cutter. Yeah, he called me over to his locker this morning and showed me his son's uniforms. He has 2 young boys, and he's got the Blue Jay uniforms, official Blue Jay uniforms in those young sizes. He's pretty happy to have his sons come here. 2-1 to Stanton. He lays off that high fastball.
That's one thing that I've been impressed with these 2 sluggers for the Yankees is their patience at the plate. Over 4 days, you get a chance to watch a few at-bats and they really haven't gone out of the strike zone, chasing pitches off the plate.
That's a good cutter right there. Both Judge and Stanton have walked 3 times in this series. Didi Gregorius, you might not think it, but he's the cleanup hitter in this lineup. 3-2. Smoak has backed up behind Judge at first. There goes the runner. Ball 4. They walk him again. So today, Judge and Stanton have walked 5 times. But that's the old saying, walk him and you'll know where he's at.
Ultimate outcome, right? You've heard that this year. They've been up to the plate 8 times between them. They've walked 5 times and they've struck out 3 times combined.
Stanton scored a run after he drew a 2-out walk in the 3rd, part of that 4-run Yankee inning, the only inning they have scored this afternoon. Here is Didi Gregorius, and he's gotten some big hits in this series. This should end the inning. Solarte into foul territory, makes the catch, and it does so. John Axford strands a pair. He walks Judge, walks Stanton. No harm, no foul.
With the Blue Jays on Thursday, April 26th. The first 15,000 fans in attendance received this Josh Donaldson t-shirt. Join us pregame in the WestJet flight deck for live music and entertainment. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com. Home half of the 7th inning, we go back up to Buck Martinez and Pat Tabler. Gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Hazel May. New pitcher for the Yankees, Tommy Kahnle. You see his numbers a year ago combined between the White Sox and the Yankees, and he's terrific. Big, strong arm, powerful. Look at the strikeouts per 9 innings.
You can say that about just about everybody out of that bullpen for the Yankees. We saw Kahnle in game 2 in this series. He threw an inning and a third, a walk and a strikeout, and that was about it. Good hard fastball and a good breaking ball.
Kahnle made 10 appearances with the White Sox a year ago, and then check that, he made 37 appearances with the White Sox and 32 with the Yankees. Look out. The teams are not timid about throwing Donaldson inside. They come right after him.
I think he knows that. Remember last year Josh was wearing that face guard for a while. And one of the things he said, one of the reasons why, he said, teams like to go up and in on me. And he knows that. It's out of respect because he's such a good hitter that you got to brush him back off the plate.
Ball on the strike, that last pitch, a changeup. 89 miles an hour. Up and away.
There's the fastball right there. That changeup's got like splitter type action on it, meaning it tumbles towards the plate and then drops right at the last second.
Three and one. Blue Jays have had their leadoff man reach in 4 of the 6 innings so far this afternoon, but they haven't been able to move him around the bases. 3-1. Well, 4. Another leadoff man reaches. That's the 4th walk issued by the Yankees.
Hit a home run with any project this season. Home Hardware, proud sponsor of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Lots of action at the Jays shop here at Rogers Center. Blue Jays had a big 8th inning in yesterday's game to come back and win that game 5-3. They trail by 3 runs here as they bat in the 7th. Justin Smoak 1 for 2 with a walk and leadoff single in the 5th. Driven deep to center field. Gardner on the run. He's gonna watch it go out of here. Justin Smoak, a 2-run home run, his first of the season.
And the Blue Jays cash that leadoff walk from Canely. He walks Donaldson, falls behind Smoak, and Smokey makes him pay. He was talking yesterday. He said the key for me is that lower half. I've got to be able to get that lower half going, and if I do that, then the upper half's going to work together with my lower half. I'm just trying to hit the ball hard. Boy, did he ever hit the ball hard. Look how it all works together, head down, and you drive that ball on a line, and I mean a line drive right over the wall. You can see it doesn't get up very high, just grazes the walls and hangs out of here. Line drive about 410 feet to center.
Center fielder Brett Gardner expected it to hit off the wall in center. Just kept sailing right on out of here. First home run of the season. 2-run home run. Smolka has now driven in 4. One-run game. The Blue Jays have homered in each of the first 4 games of the season, as you see David Robertson loosening up.
They have the right guys coming up this inning to get back in it. Leadoff walk. You have to take advantage of it. That's the 3rd leadoff walk today to the Blue Jays. First one that has come around to score.
Kevin Pillar homered in the season opener on Thursday. Randall Grichuk hit a home run on Friday. Solarte homered yesterday, and now Smoak this afternoon. Trying to go deep again. He's got a nice swing. A lot of commitment to that swing, but when he chooses to let it go, it flies through the zone.
Career high 18 home runs last year. Hit number 1 in yesterday's game.
Solarte singled in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. High pop. Third baseman Brandon Drury is there, and Solarte's retired. One away here in the bottom of the 7th. Josh Donaldson drew the leadoff walk and scored on Smoak's first home run of the season. Curtis Granderson is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. He's got to make Canely get that ball down.
Yeah, he's a good low ball hitter. We saw that in the spring. That he can hit that low ball out of here. There it was, but he didn't like it. 26 home runs last year for Granderson.
Tyler Clippard appears to be ready, standing by in the Blue Jays bullpen. Changeup with good movement.
Yeah, that's that movement. He throws it like a 3-finger prong, the index, middle, and ring finger. And it turns over. It's almost like a splitter going down and away. This looks like his fastball.
Granderson choking up a bit with 2 strikes. Fouls it off to stay alive. Ground ball. Wade from the outfield throws in time. 2 away. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Thank you very much, Jamie. And you can see Tommy Canely is out of the game. David Robertson will come on with 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the 7th in this 1-run game. Tosses. Look at that outfield. Brett Gardner looks like a very small man. He's about 6 foot tall, but flanked by Stanton and Judge. There's no comparison.
Make anybody look small, don't they? But that's what you want for your outfield. You like to have some power on your corner outfielders, and Yankees have plenty of that. They also have plenty of relief pitching. Here's another one. David Robertson looks like they're going to have him try to finish off the 7th, pitch the 8th, and leave the 9th for Chapman. 61 games last year. He was 9-2 with the White Sox and the Yankees.
Randall Grichuk, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Takes that first breaking ball into the dirt. Mentioned Grichuk homered on Friday night against Masahiro Tanaka. Breaking ball hit hard, but right to the shortstop. Gregorius throws out Grichuk. Robertson gets his man. But the Blue Jays get 2 in the bottom of the 7th. Justin Smoak hit 38 home runs a year ago. This is number 1, a 2-run shot to make it a 1-run game. A little later on today, as we have more baseball action for you on Sportsnet 1. The Angels are in Oakland to take on the Athletics. It all starts at 4 Eastern time. 1 Pacific time, Shohei Ohtani will make his first start as a pitcher. The 23-year-old opened up the season as the DH. It'll be the first time since 1919 when Babe Ruth started the opener as a non-pitcher and then pitched as a starter in his team's first 10 games.
And how about Ohtani? First pitch he sees, he gets a base hit. Says he's going to remember that one for a long time. That's Tyler Clippard, who has taken over for John Axford here in the 8th inning. Second time that we have seen Clippard in this series. Check that. That's the 3rd time that we have seen Clippard in this series. He pitched on opening day and then the next day. He has faced Walker in the past 10 times, and he's given up 4 hits to him.
This time it's a lazy fly ball to center. Clippard gets his first man. Clippard had a good inning on Friday night. 3 up, 3 down with a couple of strikeouts on just 12 pitches. 2 pitches to retire Walker. Brandon Drury, boy, he's had a good series. His first home run as a Yankee came back in that 4-run 3rd inning. This afternoon he's 2 for 3. He's reached base all 3 times. Drury's always been a clutch hitter. His 2-run home run in the 3rd came with 2 outs.
And 2 strikes. 0-2 breaking ball that hung in the middle of the plate. Didn't think he got all of that. Thought he hit it well, but that ball just carried and just made it over in left field, over that scoreboard in left center.
He just missed hitting a home run to right field earlier in this series. There's that great changeup from Clippard. On Friday night, Drury hit a ball to the top of the fence in front of the Yankee bullpen for an RBI double. Just about a foot from being a home run. Clippard misses with the fastball. It's 3-1. Gary Sanchez started all 3 of the first games here in this 4-game series. Romine started this afternoon behind the plate. Full count now. Clippard working with 1 out here in the 8th.
He has such a great changeup because he really sells it. There's Andujar on deck. He sells it, and he's got just enough fastball to fool you when he pulls the string with that changeup.
Three-two pitch. He's late on that fastball.
Yeah, he's sitting on that changeup. He knows the scouting report on Tyler Clippard. He's saying, I'll look for the changeup with 2 strikes and I'll adjust to the fastball. And he was just a little bit late.
Change up high for ball 4.
This 4K broadcast is brought to you by the Samsung QLED TV. See nothing else.
Little cool outside Rogers Center. We are very thankful to have a roof. It's nice and comfortable inside. The White Sox will be here tomorrow night, first of a 3-game series against the AL Central team.
See, that's a young kid who doesn't really know that much about Tyler Clippard. He was sitting all over a fastball looking for it, and he read fastball, but it was a changeup. He hit that ball in the 5th deck. Way foul.
Andujar is 0 for 3. That kind of handcuffed Russell Martin. A breaking ball kind of backed up on him.
When you see a young hitter out in front that far, what do you end up throwing? Clippard, that's a splitter.
Yeah, it is. That's why Russell wasn't really sure which way it was going to break. Looked like another one there, also upstairs for a ball. It's 2-1 now.
There's the splitter grip, and it's just to create some tumbling motion. That one came out wrong. Have more side spin on it.
Andujar chased a high fastball. 2-2 now. The Blue Jays have made it a 1-run game thanks to Justin Smoak's 2-run home run. To keep the Yankees in check here in the 8th. Another fastball, and Clippard picks up the strikeout.
Put that off-speed pitch in the mind of the young hitter early on. We saw a changeup and some splitters, and then a couple of 90-mile-an-hour fastballs above the belt. That's the key. Get it above the belt. It looks so inviting for that young hitter, but he comes up empty.
2 away now. Second baseman Tyler Wade. He's 0 for 3. A couple of groundouts and a strikeout. Wade is now 1 for 11 in the series.
That one hit, though, was a big hit for him. His first multi-hit RBI 2-run single on Friday.
This popped up. Solarte giving chase, but it'll be out of play into the seats. He had a long run. He was playing well off the line against the left-handed hitting Wade. Drury at first with 2 away. That's the bread and butter pitch for Tyler Clippard, that changeup.
It looks so nice to hit, but your timing is so messed up. You're out in front. You can't wait long enough on it. Wade has never faced Clippard.
One and 2. Check swing roller toward third. Solarte unloads in a hurry in time. Nice inning by Tyler Clippard. It's a 4-3 Yankee lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Time now for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Cliff Floyd in the Samsung broadcast studio.
He hit 38 of them last year. Justin Smoak with the home run. This is going to be number 1 of this season. Picks on this fastball from Tommy Kangley and drills it over the center field wall for his first home run. 2 big runs by the Blue Jays. That is this afternoon's drive of the game. Gets us to within 1 run as the Blue Jays will bat in the bottom of the 8th.
The Blue Jays bullpen has been outstanding in the last 3 games, including this one this afternoon. They've pitched a total of 8 1/3 innings against the Yankees and allowed just 1 hit. Bottom third of the Blue Jays lineup. Russell Martin gets a leadoff single. Jumps on that first pitch. Again, the Blue Jays get their leadoff man aboard.
It happened in the first inning, the 3rd inning, 4th, 5th, 7th, and now in the 8th inning, Russell gets first pitch fastball from Robertson and rips it by Gregorius.
The Blue Jays used Kendrys Morales as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning when the score was 4-1. They'd like to have him at their disposal now here in the 8th. Pilar takes a strike. Kevin's had a terrific day. 3 for 3, 3 singles, all to center field.
He has scored a run. Nice to get him on base. He would represent the go-ahead run for the Blue Jays.
Well, he's had a good approach all afternoon.
Quiet, staying back long enough before he sees where the pitch is. searching for his first hit against Robertson. He'll probably throw him the cutter and the curveball at some point here.
Pilar's 0 for 5 against the Yankees righty. It's important that Kevin doesn't think about hitting a home run here. Continue with that great approach. Get a good pitch to hit.
Yeah, whatever your mindset has been here the last couple of days, stay right there.
Robertson just won't give in.
Yeah, got a little big right there. At 2-1, he was expecting a fastball, and Robertson threw him the curve.
Kevin is 6 for 12 in the series. He has a double and a home run. 2-2 pitch. Boy, he had a nice pass at that breaking ball.
Much better swing on that curveball. The previous pitch, he got a little bit long, like he was trying to juice a ball out of here. That time stayed back just a little bit longer. You can see on the right side of the infield, there's a big hole after the hit by Martin.
And Robertson's going to stay on the outer half 90% of the time.
Yeah, with that breaking ball, the curveball, or the cutter, he's got that cutting action on his fastball.
Romine wanted to take a shot inside, but Robertson shook him off. There's again, he's asking for it, and he gets it this time. That cutter down and low. Full count. Well, this is interesting now. You start the runner here, 3-2. Try to stay out of a double play, maybe get him into scoring position.
Yeah, that's the choice that John Gibbons has right here. Does he have confidence that Pilar will make contact? If he does.
There goes Martin, swinging a drive deep to center, but that's going to hang up for Gardner as Martin was on the move. He'll retreat to first base. Pilar flies out for the first out of the bottom of the 8th.
I think you judge who's hitting and how they're seeing the ball, and he felt like Pilar was seeing the ball well enough that he was going to make contact against Robertson, so he started the runner to stay out of the double play.
Aledmus Diaz took over after Morales pinch hit for Ngope in the 6th. He's at shortstop.
Good swing.
Diaz is 0 for 9 so far this season. He has never faced David Robertson.
Great time to get that first hit. Paying a lot of attention to Russell Martin over there at first base. That is twice that they have thrown over there now.
Robertson trying to help out Austin Romine, his catcher, just to keep Martin close in case he's thinking about running. There's a drive to center field. Gardner's on the run. That's over his head. Hits the base of the wall and Gardner drops it. Martin's going to stop at third. Aledmus Diaz comes up with a big double, his first hit of the season. It hit right at the base of the wall. Gardner went to pick it up and dropped it, so you thought momentarily Martin might have a chance to score.
Have a chance at scoring, but I watched something very interesting. Robertson, it was almost like he was slide stepping, so he couldn't get much on the ball when he threw it. Paying a lot of attention to Martin over there at first base. And there's the slide step. You don't usually see that from Robertson, and Diaz makes him pay for it, doubling off the wall in right field. Second and third, now the infield has to come in.
Devin Travis. Ground ball. Robertson, the pitcher, makes a nice play, and Travis taps out on the first pitch.
Well, if the Blue Jays have the right man at the right spot, this might be the guy coming up right here, Josh Donaldson. He's had 3 hits in his career against Robertson. 2 of them have been home runs.
Josh singled in the first. He walked in the 7th and scored on the Smoak home run, and now Aaron Boone. He saw the numbers you were talking about.
Said, you know what, we're going to take the bat right out of Donaldson's hand. I'd rather face Smoak in this situation than Donaldson, which is interesting. Smoak is a left-handed hitter. Donaldson's a right-handed hitter.
And Smoak has 5 hits in his last 2 games, including a home run and a single in his last 2 at-bats. He's reached base 3 times this afternoon. He's seen the ball well. So Aaron Boone never hesitated. He had a base open. He says, you know what? I'm going to walk Donaldson, despite the fact that Smoak's swinging the bat well. .38 home runs a year ago. Home run number 1 is last time up for Smoak. First pitch, breaking ball. The Blue Jays hit 7 grand slams a year ago. Smoak's only grand slam came against the Yankees in New York.
I'll settle for a single to left field.
So would John Gibbons. Ball 2. We talked about Smoak seeing the ball well, going back to yesterday's game.
Yeah, he's not even flinching on some of those pitches.
Never had a hit against Robertson. The Yankee outfield is as straight away as you can get. The infield plays Smoak to pull. Home run cut.
He got them to within 1 run. That was just last inning against Canely. See if he can get them the lead with 1 swing.
Fastball for strike 2.
He was looking off speed pitch, and Robertson slipped the fastball by him.
This is Robertson's 36th career game here at Rogers Center. He's surrendered just 3 home runs. Smoak protects the outside corner.
He's done a much better job of doing just that, spoiling tough pitches. Remember when he singled, he had a 10-pitch at bat back in the 5th inning. The last batter that Sonny Gray faced.
Remember, on Friday night, he had a 2-out double in the 1st inning to the opposite field off of Masahiro Tanaka. On the same type of pitch, he just fouled back. 2-2. Ball in the dirt. That's a full count. Russell Martin got it started with a leadoff single. Aledmus Diaz, his first hit as a Blue Jay, a double to the wall in center. Donaldson was given the intentional walk. The bases are loaded. There are 2 outs.
And there's a mound visit, but that's a great mound visit, I think, right there by Romine. Calm everything down. We're not going to give a sign. Let's go out there and verbally talk about what you want to throw here. 3-2, 2 outs.
I bet you he throws him a breaking ball.
I'm with you.
Breaking ball fouled off. Robertson's got so much confidence with his breaking pitch. Aaron Boone made a tough decision. He chose to walk Donaldson with 2 outs to bring Smoak to the plate. Another breaking ball fouled off.
Another long at bat. Smoak won the last time he had one of these long at bats with a base hit.
And was back in the 5th. That was the last batter Sonny Gray faced. Another 3-2 pitch. High fly ball to center. Gardner looking up. Get up, ball! Get out of here! Grand slam, home run!
That ball kept carrying and carrying right out of here. He tried curveball twice, and then it looked like he tried to cut the fastball, and Smokey was waiting for it.
Some 8th-inning magic for a second straight day. Solarte did the trick yesterday. Smoak, another big game.
Smokey said something to both you and I the other day. It was really interesting about early in the year how the ball seems to carry here in this ballpark. When it's closed up all winter long, feels like the ball really carries. You start getting fans in here. In April, the ball carries out of here, and when he hit it, it looked like he got it, but did he get enough of it? And it just kept carrying into the second deck. How about that?
7-4 Blue Jays.
He homered in the 7th for 2 runs, and now one swing of the bat's going to give the Blue Jays 4 big runs.
Aaron Boone walked Donaldson to get to Smoak. Solarte hits a fly ball to right. Judge calls for it. And that'll do it for the Blue Jays. But what an inning. Russell Martin led it off with a single. Diaz had his first hit, a double. Donaldson was walked and sets the table for Smoak. His second career grand slam has given the Blue Jays a 7-4 lead as we go to the 9th.
Presented by Honda. You can count on us to get home safe. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and proud fan since 1977.
Well, Justin Smoak had everything go right for him yesterday on Justin Smoak bobblehead day. He had a 3-hit day yesterday, and today he has his first multi-home run game of the season, and he's driven in 6.
Single-handedly again, the Blue Jays the lead here, and they turn it over to someone. Oh, in 62 games with St. Louis last year. You can see the inflated numbers, had some problems there. But the Blue Jays feel like he is healthy and ready to contribute. He will get the shot at closing this afternoon.
First pitch strike delivered to the pinch hitter, Gary Sanchez, batting for Austin Romine. Sanchez just 1 for 13 in the series. Out in front of that off-speed pitch, and he broke his bat. Did not sign with the Blue Jays until the 26th of February. There's David Robertson. He gave up a 4 spot to the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 8th.
If you're worried about and you're wondering about him, he has closing experience. He had 19 saves in 2016, 20 saves in 2017, and 24 appearances.
He has a lot of experience both in Korea and Japan at closing out games prior to coming to the big leagues. Breaking ball, and Sanchez strikes out. 1 away in the 9th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Easter Sunday, and Justin Smoak has delivered the goods.
Twice today, once in the 7th and once in the 8th. Let's see if Oak can make it stand up. He is a strike thrower.
The splitter missed down and away.
With a good breaking ball that I think matches up well against these powerful right-handed batters.
Is from South Korea. He's 35 years old. He was a closer throughout his career in Korea. He went to Japan in 2014, pitched 2 years there for Hanshin. Had 39 saves and 41 saves in his 2 years in Japan. High fly ball, Grichuk. He's got plenty of room, short of the warning track. 2 away.
He signed late, so he didn't throw that much in spring training, so he's been working to get that arm stronger. Trying to close this one out, and I'm sure Booney's going to be thinking about that decision to walk Josh Donaldson. Sometimes it worked. That time it backfired on him.
He didn't hesitate.
Nope.
As soon as Donaldson stepped to the plate, he had the thought of walking him. Erin Judge chases the first pitch.
You play out those scenarios in your mind as the game goes along. You say, okay, if this guy is up against this guy, what am I going to do? Because the game moves so fast, you don't have time to think about it. You got to be prepared.
David Robertson had not surrendered a hit to Russell Martin or to Justin Smoak in his career. And 2. Line drive. That's going to drop for a base hit. Judge hits the breaking ball off the end of the bat and keeps the inning alive for New York.
There was that breaking ball. He just caught too much of the plate. He's got those long arms and long bat that he can reach that outside pitch. It's starting to break, but it just doesn't break enough. And Judge can reach it.
As good as the Yankees bullpen is, the Blue Jays bullpen has matched them pitch for pitch in this series. Osuna had worked in 3 straight games, so that's why Gibbons went to 0 in this situation. Chapera pitched in back-to-back games prior to this one.
Yeah, this would have been 3 days in a row for Osuna. So you got to figure he is down.
2-0. There's a strike. Strike 2. Oh, professionally has 396 saves. This would be his 40th big league save. High fly ball. Granderson will give way to Clippard, and the Blue Jays win it. They split the 4-game series on the strength of the 8th inning Saturday and Justin Smoak's powerful bat here on Easter Sunday.
Yeah, they have to come back today. They are down 4-1 heading into that 7th inning, and Smokey drives in 6 in those last 2 runs to give the Blue Jays a split. How about the job of the bullpen? Shutting out the Yankees over the last 6 innings today.
2 hits in the last 3 games surrendered by the bullpen. The offense came alive. They win it 7-4. They split the 4-game series. Thanks for watching, folks. Happy Easter. Stay tuned. Here's Blue Jays Central with Jamie Campbell, Cliff Floyd, and Joe Siddall.